Man, guys, it has been an absolutely crazy week. It is Friday, May 16th, and I want to take a moment to say thank you so much to everybody who has been reaching out to us and buying stuff off of us, adding cards to your collection from our stock. I quite literally have not been able to keep stuff in stock this week. By the time I get it home, on my car ride home, I've already sent some pictures to a few people. Some people have asked what's new, and stuff has sold, and it's literally out the door faster than it got here. And so I just want to say thank you so much. We have a couple notable sales I wanted to show you today. And then we're going to get into a tag submission that I had sent off for personal for my PC. So as you all are aware, I am not a tag diehard. I'm not the biggest fan of some of their grading criteria and the way that the AI grades the cards. However, I will say they have probably the best slabs in the game. I think the other company that competes with them, for my personal opinion, is Beckett. I'm not a big fan of PSA slabs, but we almost exclusively carry PSA because that's what everybody wants. But I did want to show you all, before we get into the tag submission, that we did officially sell our Gold Star Charizard that we picked up about a week ago. We picked this card up at a local show. The show was not very good. There was not a whole lot going on, and on our way out the door, somebody had this, and we copped it before we left. So that sold, and then we just picked this PSA 2 Population 1 Aquapolis Houndoom up yesterday, and it sold this morning. And so that card is being sent out to the same person that bought the Gold Star Charizard. You know who you are. I greatly appreciate your business. Thank you so much for everything. And surprisingly enough, this PSA 2 Houndoom, I think you're going to love it. Yes, it got a 2. I think it only got a 2 because it's slightly wavy from some humidity, but the card overall looks pretty good. So we also just did a trade in the mail. It's been a minute since we've done a trade. Let's set the mic down here. We sent out a PSA 9 Shining Mewtwo GX, the Mewtube, as well as a PSA 9 Espeon VMAX. And in return, we received a PSA 9 Gardevoir EX, a Curlia, again, these are mint 9s, a Ralts PSA 9, $40, and then here's the kicker, a PSA 10 Mega Tokyo's Pikachu XY promo. So obviously the Ralts Evolution line was kind of just to fill in the gap for value, and this was the main chase. This is about a $900 to $1,000 card. We are very excited to have this. We're going to be adding it to our showcase at the end of the month for PokeFest over in Norman. Used to be in Oklahoma City, but they moved it. All right, let's get into the tag grades. I am hoping that they have put the plastic wrap back on, because I did see some people were getting their orders without the plastic wrap because they had ran out. So I had, whoops, sorry, hit my camera. I'd gotten a message from some people saying that I'm just hating on tag in my previous video, and I'm really not, guys. They have a lot they need to work on, and I do mean a lot. The grading, it's just not quite accurate. If you haven't seen my video on the Typhlosion Neo Genesis, the first edition that I had sent off, I highly recommend you go check that out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it looks like these cards, oh, yep, they did. Cool. I was going to say, it doesn't look like they got sent with the wrapping, but they did. Looks like they got them back, which is fantastic, because This, I think, is so much fun. I really do enjoy unwrapping the slabs. I think that's a lot of fun. I like the idea of AI grading. I just think it needs some tuning. And I've got some really good reasons why. Okay, so we are going to open up our first of 5. I am so excited. I think what we're gonna do is use some scissors because these things can be kind of finicky and then the grade reveal gets kind of ruined. So we'll just use some scissors and see what we get. All right, so turn it around. I'm gonna cover it. All right, so this is our Regice Gold Star. If you saw my previous video, this card received a PSA 3, which I understand it's got a crease right here. And actually, it kind of looks like a second part was added to that wasn't there. So that's a little concerning, but they gave it a 3. I thought that was kind of low considering it is a crease. It doesn't go through to the back. The rest of the card's pretty good. It's very clean surface-wise. But let's see what Tag thought. A 4. So not a whole lot better, but we did get a bump. So Regice Tag 4. Not terrible. I was kind of hoping for like a 5, but you know, that works. Let's get into the second one. And again, I sent off through Tag rather than PSA or BGS because I plan on hanging on to these for a little while and I like the way that Tag slabs look. I also kind of wanted to do a follow-up video on grading just because I thought that the last round didn't go so well. Okay, so Psyduck from Team Rocket Returns. We got a Gem Mint 10. That is awesome. Very, very cool. That is what we wanted. I was actually digging through my my bulk pile and I saw that I had a Psyduck from Team Rocket Returns. And as you all are aware, that is a very, very hot set right now. And Psyduck is a very popular Pokemon. And I thought, you know what? If it gets a 10, probably be worth a little bit of money. I think PSA 10s go for close to $100 or even more. It's a beautiful artwork. And so I am very excited, sorry about the camera wobble, to add that to our table. That will be for sale. We will see how that card does. There's only 2 cards of the 5 that I sent off that will be for sale at some of our local shows, and we're going to see how well Tag slabs move. We did just get a 10. Now granted it's a non-holo, but we got a 10 and that will be interesting. This is the other card that will be for sale and everything else is going into the personal collection. So we got a Persian from Shrouded Fable. Now here's the deal. This card was pretty mint, except it does have a little bit of silvering up at the top, and you guys can't see it on the camera. I can see it with all this lighting that I've got going on. But I was hoping that with the somewhat lax standards that Tag has presented so far with some of my other cards, that this would get a 10 regardless. And, you know, maybe we'd sell it to somebody who likes Tag 10s. So let us see how we did. All right. So we got a Gem Mint 10. Again, very happy about that. There is a little white dot up here in the corner on the surface, not on the edge of the card. I think that that's a piece of dust, but it is inside the slab itself, so it won't be able to be removed. So again, everybody talks about how accurate tag is and how, if you send a tag, you get a true grade. And I'm a little concerned on that. I definitely did not see that in my previous submission. There were so many flaws that just weren't accounted for. And this, ironically, even though I'm happy because I got a tag 10, this card will probably be sold for a couple $100. I still think that had I sent this to PSA, this comes back a 9 because of the silvering on the edge. And not every time, because human error is a thing, but most times I think that would have gotten a 9 from PSA. All right, we've got 2 more cards left, and they're both gold stars. So we will see what happens. Again, these are going in the personal collection. They're not going to be for sale. We are hoping for as high a grades as possible. I spent a lot of money on these 2. Picked them up at the same time. If you have watched all my videos, you have seen these before. So let's see how we did. Ooh, Charizard. All right. Gold Star Charizard. So, this card on the back does have a slight indentation. Now, it is not a crease, but there is an indentation. There is also a print line on this card. I will have to find it. I believe it's right. Let's see. That's so good to have this card back. I was missing it desperately. All right, let's do the reveal. 1, 2, 3. A 7. Wow. Okay, so this is another reason that I sent this to tag rather than PSA. PSA is very, very strict on certain things, and that little indentation, either they caught it and they didn't account too much for it, or they didn't catch it. After I get done here, I will look on the report, and before I upload this video, I will let you all know whether it is in the grade report. But for now, I am very happy to have a Tag 7 Charizard Gold Star. It's a beautiful card. Outside of that one issue on the back, that is, the only issue. It's got some... It's not the only issue, my apologies. It's got a little bit of wear on each corner, but not dings. Overall, it's a pretty good card. So far, I would tell you this submission has gone fantastic. And it makes me very optimistic for this next card, because this next card was in better shape than the Charizard from what I could tell. And so if we stick to trends, we should be looking at a very nice return. So, this card is my Mew Gold Star. Did not have a print line. Did not have a lot of stuff going on the corners on the back. An absolutely beautiful card. I am going to commend Tag for a moment. Everybody's been upset about turnaround times. I've got a lot of thoughts on Tag and a lot of things that I've complained about, but turnaround time really isn't one of them. I paid the next step up from the $15 tier. I paid $25 a card for this submission, and Tag got them back to me in a little under 2 months. Is that, well, no, it was right at 2 months. Is that acceptable for a 10-day turnaround time? It depends on who you are. I know that when I send in to PSA, unless I'm paying for like the $75 tier or more, then I'm not going to see those cards for a couple months or more. So it just is what it is. Okay, guys. With the Gold Star Charizard 7, I'm hoping for a pretty good grade on this one. Let's see how we did. 8.5. Okay. It's good. I was hoping for a 9, and I'm not a big fan of half grades. They kind of drive me nuts. We will take an 8.5. It's a very high grade. It's a high grade for a gold star. It's beautiful. It looks great in a slab. I would almost prefer an 8 over an 8.5, but we'll take it. So we had overall a fantastic submission. Here's the gold stars. Regice got the lowest one. Charizard's probably the one I'm most excited about. It got a 7. And then the Mew getting an 8.5. Those will be going in my personal collection. These two will be hitting our booth at the upcoming shows. If they sell well, I'll be sending more into tag to have on the table and to flip. We will see what happens. I am cautiously optimistic, but very excited for the gold stars that we are officially adding back into the private collection. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. It's been just an absolute thrill of a journey. Here's some cards that I recently picked up. A whole bunch of legendary collection stuff. Some Misty's Gyarados, some vintage Politoed Neo, Dark Dragonite, Misty's, Golduck, Raichu, Reverse Eevee Sandstorm, some vintage Japanese, first edition Dark Dragonite, a Venusaur, Black Star promo. I mean, we're officially getting back to our roots. It has been an absolute blast having the opportunity to pick up vintage again and see people purchasing it and enjoying it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate your time, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.